time, we're taking a look at a Christmas present from Aetherist69, a good friend and fellow YouTuber. And this is the Iron Man 6-inch figure Crimson Dynamo, which when it first came out was a very rare figure to find, especially in my area. It's kind of funny that just a few days after Christmas, I went into a Toys R Us and I actually found this whole set, or this whole wave of figures in that Toys R Us. And but I already had this guy thanks to Aetherist, so I didn't need to pick him up. So let's take a look at the back of the package here, and you can see the write-up on the Crimson Dynamo and the picture of the figure and other figures in this wave. Now let's get it right out of this way with the stupid snot shooter that all these figures came with. Some of them are less stupid than others. This is pretty dumb. Into the junk drawer. Now, taking a look at the Crimson Dynamo. This is actually there have been many Crimson Dynamos throughout the years. Going back to the first one, which first appeared in Tales of Suspense number 46 back in '63. Now this guy has a very nice sculpt. Really like the banding of the armor here and the sculpt of the muscles. That's all very nice. I'm not a real big fan of this design for the Crimson Dynamo. He's too svelte. I think of the Dynamo as a powerhouse. Someone that is bulkier and big and massive, not sleek and streamlined. Not a race car, but a tank. And this guy does not scream tank. Now the colors are very nice. The red paint, very shiny, kind of metallic looking. The same with the grayish silver bands. They look metal enough. For the most part, it's painted very well. There's only one really bad part on the helmet. You can see that the silver doesn't really cover that too well. Okay, for articulation, the head goes left and right, up and down. Arms do go forward this far. You can push it a little bit further because the armor here gets in the way. There, that way, and that way. You can move the arm out to get it like that, and in. It rotates at the bicep. Double joint at the elbow. That's very nice. It rotates at the wrist, as well as bends in and out. And that's both wrists do that. Ab crunch there. Goes way far back and pretty far forward. He's got a waist joint, left and right. Very nice. He's got the joint here at the hips where you gotta rotate, move it forward, and then rotate the thigh to get his leg forward, which, it's not bad. He has double jointed knees, and his feet do go forward and back and left and right. So the Crimson Dynamo, the first Crimson Dynamo, was Anton Vanko, who was an expert in electricity and electromagnetism, and he was kind of coerced into creating this suit to challenge Iron Man. Now, very Cold War-ish story there. Don't know really how it's been adapted for current day. When he lost to Iron Man in battle, he defected, fearing that the KGB would basically kill him or sentence him to Siberia for his failure. And he actually went straight to work for Tony Stark. The KGB sent Black Widow and an agent named Boris Turganov after him, and Boris stole the suit and used it against Iron Man. He was killed by Vanko, who was defending Iron Man at the time. But unfortunately, Vanko himself was killed when the experimental weapon he was using overloaded. Alex Nevsky, he was Vanko's protege, and he built a new suit to get revenge on Stark for Vanko's death. And to do that, he infiltrated Cord Industries. The CEO of Cord was actually the father of Stark's current girlfriend, and Nevsky, in his setup identity, he not only tried to destroy Stark, but demoralize him by basically stealing his girlfriend. He was later killed by KGB agents, and the suit was taken back. And it was given to Yuri Petrovich, the son of Ivan Petrovich, who was a partner of Black Widow, and had defected along with her. And he was programmed to hate the West and given the armor to kill both the Black Widow and Ivan. However, in the course of his attack on them, he went berserk, and while he was eventually subdued, he was exiled to a Siberian labor camp once he got back to the Soviet Union. And which brings us to Dmitry Bukharin, who first appears in Iron Man number 109 in 1978. And the KGB give him an updated armor. He joins the group called the Soviet Super Soldiers. However, when they go rogue, they kick him out because he's still loyal to the KGB, and they fear that he's gonna spy on them. And they're not really traitors. They just don't want to operate under the thumb of the government. They still want to be heroes for the people. So he later joins the government-sanctioned team that follows them, called the Supreme Soviets, which, after the fall of the USSR, becomes the People's Protectorate. And for a while, he's renamed Airstrike for some reason or other. Which brings us to Valentin Shadalov. Yes, that's his name. Who first appears in Iron Man number 225 in 1990. And this is the version that the figure is based on. Shadalov is a colonel general in the Russian army, and he, not to mention agent of the KGB, so he uses his powers to get the Dynamo armor, and he forms this group called Remont 4, which is a group of Stalinist, superpowered people. He wants to bring back the old days. I think what happens to him. So he has several plots that are defeated. The next person to use the name Crimson Dynamo uses an old armor of Bukharin's, and he's an unknown guy. that basically was just a thug. The eighth guy to use the armor, well, this is actually a beta version of the armor built by Vanko, and that is Gennady Gavrilov, who finds a helmet to this thing and thinks it's a video game, but soon realizes that it controls the beta version of the Crimson Dynamo armor, and has a run-in with the Russian police and army, and it's a short little series, and at the end of it, he still has a suit, but he hasn't really popped up anywhere else in the Marvel Universe yet. So the ninth one was built by the Tinkerer and was created for a person to be used as a minion of the the woman who took over Latveria in the Secret War, the modern day Secret War. The 10th Crimson Dynamo was a suit that was bought on a black market, again not used very long by that person. The 11th was some weird thing that it was, again, an old armor used by someone who was put in stasis and woken up as part of a doomsday super team to go on a destructive rampage throughout America, and he was killed in battle with the Order. And number 12, which is probably the most recent one. No, wait, number 12 was a guy called Boris Vadin, and he was part of he was seen as a Winter Guard member, and he's the one that aided War Machine against the Skrulls during the Skrull invasion, against orders, and he then, after, I think he joins the Red Hulk when he was part of a mercenary team. He then died. So his replacement as the current Crimson Dynamo is actually a female pilot, and that's Galina Nemitovsky. That's 13 people who have called themselves the Crimson Dynamo. And that's not even getting into the Ultimate Crimson Dynamo, which has appeared in the Ultimate Universe. Yeah, so my favorite would be the Dmitry Bukharin, and it's probably because that's the one that has been the Crimson Dynamo the longest, from 1978 to 1990, and that's right around the period where I started reading, so I would be more familiar with that. He's the one that appears in most of the stuff I read as a kid, and I'm really kind of, it's too bad we didn't get him as a Marvel Legend or as part of this version, but they did do a Marvel Universe, or a smaller, rather, not a Marvel Universe, but an Iron Man 3 3¾ figure of that suit. And here is that suit. Yeah, so when I think of the Crimson Dynamo, this is the kind of suit that I picture. That'll be it for the Crimson Dynamo. Stay tuned for some more Marvel stuff. And until then, I'll see you.